I was doing a workshop one day somewhere around DC at a great music store used to be called Chuck Levin's. And in walked a woman that looked like my mom. And my mom had passed away a few years earlier, so it threw me for a loop. But it was my mom's baby sister. And I didn't know she lived so close, but she had walked over to the clinic and she told a story. She heard me, saying things that my mom would say. And she says, I have a story for you. At our house in Virginia, when we lived in Virginia, small house, we would have gatherings, family reunions where there'd be 50 plus people in our small home. And, my brothers would be sleeping under the kitchen table because they'd always give up their beds. They'd be sleeping on the porch or whatever. And my aunt said she saw my mom up late one night, just agitated in the kitchen, pacing back and forth, doing stuff, keep herself busy, but talking to herself. And my aunt said, Dot, they called my mom Dorothy, but her name was Dorothy, but they called her Dot. Dot, what's wrong? And found out that my mom was a little bit upset because her friends were upset at her because she didn't go see us play a very big show we were doing over that weekend at the Coliseum or some big show. And mom didn't go. And her friends were saying, you're not going to go see them play that whole show, that big show. It's an important show. And my mom said something to the effect of, I'm not proud of them because they go and play a big show. I'm proud of them because they can go play a big show and come back home and sleep on the floor. My mom and my dad knew who we were as five boys. Our parents didn't define us by what we do. They defined us by who we were. Because they knew if they could cultivate five good boys, honest boys, truth-telling boys, doing our best even when we failed, then our parents knew that we would be successful at whatever we chose to do. So I remember in the pandemic, when the pandemic hit, so many of my musician friends felt lost, really felt lost. And I understood it. I get it. It was a doozy on all of us. But what I saw, and I might be wrong, I admit that, but what I saw was people who lost their identity because they couldn't do what they're used to doing. See, if I define myself as a musician, if I define myself first as a musician, and all of a sudden I can't play, then I might not know who I am because you've taken away who I think I am, a musician. But no, being a musician is what I do. So the question is raised, then who am I? And that's what the pandemic did for many of us. It took away what we do, or what we did, or what we do, and made us focus on who we are. For me personally, I didn't like the pandemic, but I liked the fact that I was able to get back to who I are, who I am. Not so much what I do, because I couldn't play. I couldn't go out on tour, but I got to be a dad. I got to be a husband. I got to be a dog owner. I got to be me. It was a chance for me to go inside. And I think that was a good thing for our whole country. And I hope the whole country will ask, who are we? We can benefit from that. Up until my mom's death, her license plate on her car said, be what you are. She was always into you knowing you, know thyself. So now I'm passing on mom's words to you. Know thyself, know who you are, and be a good person, a good, honest human being. My mom would say, if you're right, no one has to know. You know you're right. But if you're wrong, no one has to know. You know you're wrong. So be a good person, and then take that good person and choose what you want to do with it. At that point, whatever you do is going to make someone else better. So like mom says, know thyself. Be a good person.